Welcome back to Into the Chatterverse, where two chins share their 2 cents on pop media. I am Victor Dandridge, lovingly called the hardest working man in comics.
And I'm Bill, and I'm wondering why the latest Lego TV show is not a game instead.
Okay, that's not what we came here to talk about, but I'm curious. Wait, what's the latest Lego?
Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy?
Okay. And that's not based on a game?
No.
That's...
It's...
But I would totally play that. That sounds like
exactly.
an amazing... Why is
every Lego game is great.
It is absolutely
especially
amazing.
The Star Wars ones, because even the games or like the movies you like,
yeah,
the stories are better in the Star Wars, in the Lego version.
Okay. Oh wow. It even sounds like a game. Rebuild the Galaxy.
It does, exactly. That's why I thought it was a game, and then I find out it's a Disney Plus show.
I mean, that's interesting.
A little disappointing.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. That's not at all what I was prepared for you to say, and that's kind of amazing. What we are here to talk about is the premiere of The Penguin. This is an offshoot of the Matt Reeves The Batman. We use a lot for this whole series. Like, yes. I'm sure we're gonna have the Riddler, the Penguin, the Joker, the Gotham. This was is a brand new series that's on HBO Max and is literally rooted from that movie. So we're bringing in all the stars from the Batman, as far as we know, that have a direct correlation to Penguin in this one. We have references to everybody, except for one, and I'll bring that up. But Colin Farrell specifically is back in his role as the Penguin, and you very, very sweetly pointed out you still cannot tell that that's him, at all.
Not only can you not tell that it's him, but you can't tell that he's wearing like makeup or anything.
Any of it.
Like maybe some of the scars aren't that great.
Okay.
But like his double, triple, quadruple chin looks normal.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing looks normal. So
even his like receding hairline. Like, there is some serious work that is done in the prosthetics for this character. And we were just talking a second ago that we were in San Diego Comic-Con, and they had a showcase for this show coming on. And it was revealed then that when Colin was first cast for the Batman, they had not figured out what the Penguin was going to look like. And so he was cast as, for his acting chops, which is great. But then when he finally gets, outfitted with all the prosthetics and things like that, he walks up on set. No one realized who he was, because you lose every aspect of who Colin Farrell is in this whole setup here. And the idea of how transformative the makeup team is on this one is mind-boggling. Like, how do you hire someone who is a name? Like, you don't not hire Colin Farrell for being Colin Farrell, and that's not at all who you get, and it's one of the best performances, I think, of his entire career. Is there any other actor that has done something like that?
The only thing that comes to mind is Idris Elba.
Okay.
In the Star Trek movie.
Oh, Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And I was kind of disappointed in that character because I like Idris Elba, and I kind of wanted to see him as opposed to all the prosthetics.
Right.
Because, like, the Penguin part doesn't bother me because at least he's able to emote, and kudos to them for getting him, everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if they actually used his forehead or if there's something glued to his forehead, but like his mouth,
everything.
But when it came to Idris Elba, I was just like,
it's not until he reverts towards the end of it that you're like, oh, there he is.
Yeah, it's like it could have been anybody in that makeup.
Yeah.
Just like it could have been anybody in the makeup for the Penguin.
So true.
Because it looks nothing like
Colin Farrell. It doesn't even sound like there's not a hint of him virtually anywhere in this performance.
No.
I found myself in this first episode watching the gait of his walk and how absolutely committed he is to having the club foot and it affecting how he moves. And it was absolutely brilliant, because I'm like, this dude is locked in acting wise. Like, I've never seen anything like this, because I believe that he's got the mess up foot. I believe he's that size. I believe every aspect of what his portrayal is, because like even like his posture is crap. And Colin Farrell's a fit dude, but I'm looking at him like, no. There's a specific scene where he's supposed to be carrying something down some steps, and I'm like, ain't no way he's gonna do that. There's no way.
Yeah. Were you thinking in your mind he's totally gonna throw?
He's gonna throw that.
That's because when he stops, you're just like, he's got to throw it.
He's got to.
And he started to make the move like he was going to walk, and then he just finally decides, nope, I'm going to throw it.
I'm throwing it.
I'm like, good. That's what you need.
That's absolutely it.
Yeah.
But like even to that level, it was like it's such a great performance because it's informing what I'm expecting in the storytelling. Because I'm like, there's no way he's gonna do this.
Yeah.
And it plays so daggone well. Okay. So framework. This thing takes place approximately a week after the end of the Batman. So the Riddler's attack on Gotham has happened. The explosions that took out the seawall and the flooding and all that stuff has absolutely happened. And it's the death of Falcone. Is it right? I want to say which one actually died. Falcone dies.
Yeah, it's Falcone.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's in the aftermath of Falcone dying that this story is kind of creating a vacuum of criminality that needs to be filled. And I think that's a very like grounded and plausible storyline to pick up. And I like the initial setup of this one. How did you feel about that setup and the time frame of pickup from the Batman movie?
I thought it worked well. It looked like it could have taken place like right after. I think they recapped everything perfectly fine.
They did. In fact, so fine, it's actually my complaint of of this episode. I like how well it ties into the Batman, but it almost does it so well that there is an absolute absence of any reference specifically to the Batman being a presence in Gotham. And while this is a very short time period, I mean, maybe we've covered 24 hours in this first episode, there are things that happen in the nighttime that I think, not that Batman should show up, I'm not saying that, but people should have a reaction as though Batman could show up, because that's kind of the premise that they set up at the beginning of the Batman movie, that the whole reason why they turn on the bat signal is because it reminds criminals that he's out there, and there's always this chance that where you are doing something wrong, he might be in the shadows. And with the aftermath of the flood still very prevalent, and they're talking about looting is happening, all these things, there should be some lingering feeling that the Batman is there.
I think you're being too picky.
I'll be that. Guilty. There is a scene in particular, we're not getting into spoilers too hard, but there's a scene where Oswald is outside and engages with some local community people in a violent way. And I feel like that's the moment specifically that he should have took a second and been like looking for the Batman. Like, because, and that's the other thing is like, I feel very strongly that considering his role in the movie, he should feel like there's a target on him. And so he has to be very careful with what he's doing at a certain point.
Okay, so then what are Batman's hours of operation?
Let's say 10 and 4. 10 at night, 4 in the morning, right? We'll throw that out there.
Okay.
It's got to be late, right? Like as soon as it gets dark in Gotham, I think that's when roughly he'll show up anywhere in particular. But I'm going to say like kind of key bad hours, 10 to 4.
Do we know what time this takes place?
So
kind of.
Yeah, we kind of know, because we get a story, we'll say, about a thing.
Yeah.
And
he mentions 9 o'clock.
He does mention, like, she says after 10. But, like, I don't know exactly where that absolutely fits.
Exactly.
I really don't. So, but that's why I still want to be like...
I'm just saying that Batman may not have clocked in yet.
Penguin knows his route times.
And it could have been so early. Not to mention, you're asking for the guy who just did something horrendous.
Oh, he did.
And he was all giddy about it until he realized what he did.
Oh my God.
And it was a while before he realized what he did.
You know what? That part right there sets the stage for how diabolical I think this iteration of the Penguin will be.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that almost gave us a disservice with the announcement that the Penguin's going to be in the Batman was we thought of the Penguin as an already established crime boss, not as kind of an underboss character that we find out that he is in the movie. Mm-hmm. And so now seeing what he is as something different, I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun because we're actually seeing Oz become the Penguin. Like the Penguin is obviously something that they call him, but that's not who he is yet. And that's kind of exciting. I wasn't mad at him for what he did, because that dude was getting on my last nerve. He was awful.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful. Do you think that this sort of thoughtful version of the Penguin is a good place to kind of reimagine what he would be like? He's not necessarily this grotesque monster per se, although his foot is gnarly. But he's not like Danny DeVito's Penguin at all.
Well, I mean, his face is disfigured. He's got all those scars on there,
right?
So,
but I feel like those were man-made. Like he got into fights or things like that, and that's how that happened.
But you know, his lip is split,
right?
Also, and
it looked like it was like split, all the way here.
Yeah. So it's not. He's not a pretty guy.
Nah, he ain't pretty. He's far from pretty.
But it would be probably in the same vein of reality that like Nolan's Batman was.
I can see that.
And I kind of get the feeling that was what Reeves is going after is. Well, I don't get the feeling. I know he wants to keep it
super grounded.
Yeah, as possible. And you know, calling a guy a penguin and he doesn't have a really long nose. He kind of has a long nose, but the fact that he waddles, because of his foot,
that was brilliant.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. I've seen some comparisons to Gotham. Some people were like, "Oh, Gotham." You know, I thought this was going to be more of a carryover from that type of storytelling. And Robin Lord Taylor did a great job as Penguin. He was fun, interesting to watch. I don't feel like Fox would ever go as dark as what this already is showing it to be. And I'm not saying that no one died in Gotham, like people did.
Yeah.
But this had to be like an HBO level Gotham presentation.
Yeah, right? that would have been my point, is that they're not going to go the Fox route.
Right.
They're not doing the 20 plus episodes. They're doing, I don't know how many they're doing, 8, 10, I have
something
no idea.
Like that.
Probably not enough, but also if you're Colin Farrell, entirely too many.
Well,
and I you know, I think, and as far as that part goes, that I don't feel like they needed to put all that weight on him. They could have just made it, you know, look like he had the weight, and not necessarily
they actually
put the weight on him.
That's wild.
But also, I could see where, you know, wearing all the prosthetics on his face would probably not a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, no, not at all. I do wonder how long it took for the makeup. Did they tell us?
I'm pretty sure they did. Something like that normally takes like 3 to 4 hours to do.
I mean, and you're talking total makeover.
Well, and I mean, there's detail.
Yeah.
We're not talking like Star Trek, you know, 80s, 90s shows, which was great makeup at the time.
Sure.
But like now you look at it and you're like
what? That's bad cosplay right there. That's not.
But no, I mean, it just, you know, obviously he looked great.
We got introduced to a new character with Vic Aguilar. Is that how you say it? Aguilar? I don't know how to
Aguilar.
Renzi Feliz, who was also in San Diego. He was a fun character. I liked him as a cipher for, you know, kind of bringing us into this world.
Yeah.
And kind of the play on things. I think that he represents a different voice of a Gothamite. So like there's something to me that I've always said, like Gotham is like such a like hardcore downtrodden place that you don't have room to really be kind-hearted so much in Gotham, like not really. And I thought that the like portrayal of what he was doing. Like clearly when we're introduced to him, he's not a goody two shoes person at all, though he might have just gone with a crowd.
Yeah,
but
I get that feeling.
Yeah, but like there's got to be something in him that chooses to be in these spaces and places. We later on find out that he might not have anything else, and I think that's kind of an interesting thing. It's like, oh no, you chose to do this, and maybe this is your move to come up or get by or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is the Gotham way: is you step hard, and it doesn't matter who's in front of you. Step on them if you gotta. I think Penguin's mom is the best showcase of that mentality of a Gothamite that I've ever seen, and I loved her. She was fun.
For someone that wasn't in it very long, she made a big impression.
Oh, she did. She absolutely did. And now, okay, did they or did they not say that he had brothers?
There are definitely siblings involved,
but we don't have any clues as to what happened to them yet.
I think you get an idea by his reaction.
Okay, because I definitely thought like something had happened to them.
Yes,
but I didn't miss that they said what it was.
No.
Okay, that's what I was afraid of, because I'm like, I thought they said, but there's
something in there. Yeah,
there is something there. I liked her little hint of racism too when she saw Victor standing. There's someone in the house.
Well, I mean, that wasn't necessarily racism. It was just that there was someone in the house that she didn't know.
Also true, but
he just happened to be black.
He did just happen to be, but it was like. It was you didn't hear anybody else come in. He clearly came in with Oswald, and she didn't hear it and just was assuming like someone's come in the house. I didn't hear anything.
She's not all together there.
She's not.
So
she's not. I did appreciate that that like warning at the beginning of was that at the beginning? Maybe at the end. About social services for people with dementia and things like that. I thought that was very sweet. And I was like, you don't have to do those types of things, but I appreciate when they do.
So, as a side note, I'm watching Heels.
Okay.
I never watched it when it was on Stars because it didn't have Stars.
Well.
And they've had a couple episodes that deal with suicide. Now, they didn't have the suicide hotline.
Okay.
But they did have a warning at the beginning.
Nice.
That they're going to discuss. In one of the episodes, it was like within minutes after.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you saw it coming.
Yeah. I do think that is very responsible television, which I like that. I like that a lot.
I wonder if that's not one of those things where it's like, you didn't warn me.
Now I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so the Falcone family is in disarray. Having lost their head honcho, we're seeing the family itself is having to make decisions, and there are two players that I think could be steady, level-headed, up-and-coming bad guys. But then we get one new player, the daughter, Sophia, who, from the onset of her introduction, I was absolutely terrified of her. When she walks into the room and Oswald is talking to, I'm guessing those are her brothers. Or no, who are they? What are they to her?
I just think that they're
just heads?
Yeah, they're just right-hand man.
Yeah, when she walks in, I'm terrified. There's something about the way she, like her entire presence was just unnerving. And I think it was worse when they went out to get something to eat. Like it was terrifying.
I mean, she has a way of turning it on and turning it off.
I don't know if it's off as more of a dimmer. Like I feel like at any given time she could just slash people.
Yeah, but she's sitting there smiling like nothing's wrong.
That was the creepiest part.
Right, but that's my point of turning it off.
Yeah. God, it was so bad.
But when she turned it on.
Yeah.
And she turned it on full blast.
Oh my God.
Her
crazy eyes were good.
Oh yeah. Oh, so absolutely.
Good.
She was great.
Oh my goodness. And again, like setting up the context of problems, right? Like that Oswald has found himself in the midst of, put himself in the midst of. I love the dance of it all because it is like this perfect back and forth. It's not just like dialogue or happenings that are leading to the end. there's like this ebb and flow where he's clearly trying to get out of something, and then okay, well wait, let me try to say this and get out. Oh no, wait, and I love that she's like a vulture picking at the bones to like let him hang himself. Like she's like, okay, yeah, but see, here's the thing though, and then she does, and you're like, oh, that's messed up. She totally set you up to say that so that she can do what she's gonna do.
Yep. And
man, but I have to give Oswald his credit. He knew, and as a fuller plan, that was amazing.
Yeah, that I enjoyed that.
That was amazing. I felt bad for that level of torture, though. I can't imagine how unnecessarily painful that was. Because, I mean, like, that's one that even after they're done, you can't be comfortable. Like, you close your... No. That is weeks on end. You already walked with them.
The best part was they didn't show us how deep the cut was.
They didn't. Oh, I'm so thankful for that. But God, that's nasty work right there. Never seen anything like that, but I loved it. Now, you did tell me just a little bit ago that we have to wait 9 days before we get the next episode?
Yeah.
I am unhappy with that.
I saw where they said that the next episode was going to be on the 29th, which would make it... that's right in line with HBO.
Okay. The Sunday releases, I mean, what else did they do that with? Game of Thrones was a Sunday thing.
Oh, they're all Sunday things.
Are they all?
Yeah. Like...
It's been so long for The Sopranos. I didn't remember that one.
Sopranos was Sunday.
Okay. All right.
Right there. Sunday night.
That. Wow.
The 29th.
Okay.
I don't know why, though, they picked to release on a Thursday.
If you're just going to turn it into a... I mean, does it build tension? Hype?
I have no idea. The only thing I can think of, this episode lasted longer than I was expecting.
Yeah.
I don't see a runtime.
Maybe that's why. With it being a little longer, Thursday being prime time sort of idea. That's a carryover from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
But not a bad move. How many episodes is it?
It's only
8. Ooh.
But,
okay.
This was a solid hour plus.
It was.
So, I mean, I think they can tell the story in eight episodes. This felt like an episode.
It did.
So,
like, very complete.
At least, it. And I just, I enjoy more, but also I'm okay with less as long as they can tell the story.
I appreciate it. Absolutely. My buddy Theo Rossi said before, I saw him this summer and said that he was going to be in this, which was a surprise to me. I didn't know. And he did not say what character he was playing. And for the longest time, it was blank. And so we really were like, we don't know who it is. And it's now rated as Dr. Julian Rush, who is supposed to be romantically tied into Sophia Falcone. Like, I guess, like, he's her boyfriend, possibly someone that she met while in Arkham. But there is speculation that Julian Rush is either a new name or a misnomer for Jonathan Crane, the Scarecrow. Considering that there is clearly a showcase or parallel between Matt Reeves, the Batman, and Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, and that had a Scarecrow in it, do you feel like it's a good time to bring Scarecrow back?
No.
Let's talk about it. Why? Too soon?
I just think it's one of those characters that people don't know a whole lot about. Right. So why, and you're bringing in another version. It's just like always bringing in the Joker.
I got you.
He's got a bunch of...
He's got
a rogues gallery.
Ton.
I mean, even if you don't want to do like a sci-fi version of Clayface, Clayface can be an actor whose face is messed up and he uses whatever it is that he needs to use to recreate his face.
Yeah.
And it's not that Scarecrow was great in the trilogy. I mean, I loved him in Batman Begins.
I mean, Cillian Murphy, all the way.
But I just don't see why you would bring that character back.
I do think there is sort of a leaning to an explanation, but I don't know that it's a good enough explanation to create a brand new version of him, because it seems like if my theory is right, it is so on the same vein of what Nolan's Scarecrow did that I'm almost like, I don't want to see that again. Like, with all due respect, I love Theo and I think the idea is cool, but Scarecrow is more than that. So let's not just go down that same path. If it is Scarecrow, let's do something else. If he's not Scarecrow, is there anybody that you can think of that he could be?
I can't remember the character's name that was the head of Arkham.
Hugo Strange?
Hugo Strange.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There's been a lot of talk that Dave Bautista, in his vast weight loss, that's who he is. A lot of speculation on that one, that he could be up for the role of Hugo Strange, and that's why he's lost so much weight, has the beard like he does, and all this stuff. So, interesting idea.
I'm not gonna discount that, but also that he said that he was trying to get down into weight because he's not as big as he was.
I mean, that's fair.
His arms aren't nearly as big as he was when he was wrestling.
Right.
And he's a lot older. I mean,
yes, he is.
He's in his 50s.
Yeah, and to carry that is not easy, like, at all.
Yeah, I would imagine, like, if you look at The Rock, The Rock's in his 50s as well. He works out so much that he has just to maintain the way he looks.
No, that makes sense. But no, I definitely enjoyed this first episode. I think it's a great kickoff.
Yeah.
I have seen some people that weren't fans of it.
That's fine.
I mean, because there always are.
Yeah.
Like, I guess the thing that gets me is when people are like, well, that's not the Penguin. And it's like, well, first of all, he's a fictional character, so he could be whatever you want him to be.
It's not your version of the Penguin.
Right.
That's what they're not saying.
Yes.
It's not, it's not mine. It's blah, blah, blah. I mean, 94%.
That's solid.
With an 87% audience
score.
Score.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. First episode, that's a win. Again, you look at that thing, that is not Colin Farrell. Like, that's the question.
Yeah.
Or that's the statement right there. It's not that it's not the Penguin. That's not Colin Farrell.
Right.
Whoever that actor is, somebody give him his roses so that he gets more roles. It's actually Russell Fine. It is. What's his name? Richard Fine? Richard Fine?
Richard
Kind. That's what his name is.
His voice would be completely different with the same accent.
I so want a parody of him just doing different bits from the show.
Just watch Scrubs. Watch the episodes that he's on Scrubs.
I will totally do that. Done and done. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Guys, we want to hear from you. Let us know what your thoughts are of this first episode of The Penguin. Are you checked in? Are you checked out? And do you like a plum-colored car? Yes or no? I'm real curious about that one. Do you like a plum-colored car?
I'm a big fan of Purple Rain.
Oh, so yes, you would definitely ride in that. I dig it. Yeah, definitely keep following along, like, subscribe, because we're going to talk about this show, especially if big things happen amongst any of the characters that we are falling in love with. I'm looking at you, Kristen. Oh, I cannot wait to see what kind of crazy is in store with you. So definitely come back, check out Into the Chatterverse. I am Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics.
And I'm Bill. I'm going to look forward to doing more Prince droppings.
Don't drop Prince. That's mean.